Welcome to the Kentucky Labor Cabinet Office of Occupational Safety and Health online training resource. This class is presented as a service of the Division of Education and Training. Welcome to the presentation. Overview of 1910.24 Subpart D, Step Bolts and Manhole Steps. This course will cover employer responsibilities and general industry regulations concerning step bolts and manhole steps. Here are some of the important points that will be emphasized during this lesson. We will discuss employer responsibilities, an overview of the step bolt standard 1910.24a, as well as some specifics such as the spacing of step bolts. Then we will transition to manhole steps and go over their standard 1910.24b and cover some of their specific requirements. So what are step bolts? Step bolts are a bolt or rung attached at intervals along a structure member and used for foot placement during climbing or standing. Much like a ladder, it is recommended to use the three-point contact rule, being 2 feet and 1 hand, or 1 foot and 2 hands. The first two standards for step bolts are focused more on the structural integrity of the system, which includes the design and measurement requirements. For example, step bolts installed after January 17, 2017 must be constructed of or coated with a material that protects against corrosion if the bolt system will be used in an environment where corrosion may occur. Also, step bolts must be designed, constructed, and maintained to prevent an employee from slipping off the bolt. These requirements are part of the OSHA standard and need to be met in order to be within compliance. Step bolts should be placed between 12 and 18 inches between one another, according to 1910.24a3. Also, the spacing between bolts should remain consistent, although the entry and exit bolt may differ slightly. According to 1910.24a4, the width of each bolt must be 4.5 inches at minimum, and 1910.24a5 specifies that the perpendicular distance between the center line and the nearest permanent object is 7 inches, and when the employer demonstrates that an obstruction cannot be avoided, the distance must be at least 4.5 inches. So to summarize, step bolts should be placed not less than 12 inches between each bolt. Each bolt has a width of 4.5 inches, and the minimum perpendicular distance between the center line of each step bolt to the nearest permanent object is 7 inches. According to 1910.24a6, each step bolt is not only required to be able to support its maximum load, but 1910.24a7 states that those installed on or after January 17, 2017 must be capable of supporting 4 times the maximum intended load. 1910.24a8 specifies that each step bolt must be inspected at the beginning of each work shift, and 1910.24a9 states that each step bolt that is bent more than 15 degrees from perpendicular in any direction must be removed and replaced. And now we will go over 1910.24b, manhole steps. Manhole steps are steps that are individually attached to or set into the wall of a manhole structure. According to 1910.24b1, each manhole step shall be able to withstand its maximum load, and 1910.24b2 Roman numeral 1 states that they must have corrugated, knurled, or other type of surface to minimize the possibility of an employee slipping. The steps must also be constructed of or coated with a material that protects against corrosion if the manhole step is exposed to an environment where corrosion may occur, according to 1910.24b2 Roman numeral 2. The measurements and spacing of the steps can be found within 1910.24b2 Roman numeral 3 through 5, and these state the width of each step must be at least 10 inches. Each step must also be within 16 inches of the next, with the exception of the entry and exit step, and the distance of the center line of the step to the nearest permanent object must be at least 4.5 inches. This diagram can give you a better understanding of what the correct spacing of manhole steps looks like. According to 1910.24b2 Roman numeral 6, each manhole step shall be engineered to prevent an employee from slipping or sliding off the end. And finally, 1910.24b3 states, Employers shall also assure that each manhole step has been inspected and maintained before each shift. Taking these precautions will greatly reduce the chance of a fall. This concludes our overview of 1910.24 Subpart D, Step Bolts and Manhole Steps. Please visit our website for more safety and health e-learning opportunities, and as always, thank you for taking this course.